Welcome to Max Premieres. Today we're bringing you 10 movies you absolutely cannot miss if you've got Netflix or Prime Video and you're looking for something truly great to watch. From classics that made cinema history to recent releases that flew under a lot of people's radar, this list has variety for every taste. Action, drama, suspense, and even a Polish gem that's going to surprise you, so grab your popcorn because what's coming is unmissable. But before we get started, it would really help me out if you could take a moment to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your kind support. Number 10. Furioza. A policewoman makes her ex-boyfriend an offer he can't refuse. Either he infiltrates a violent gang of hooligans, or his brother goes straight to prison. Dawid left his past as a member of a street gang in Poland behind to become a doctor, but now Zika, the woman he once loved, who now works for the law, drags him back into the world he swore to leave behind. To protect his brother Kazub, who's still neck-deep in violence, Dawid agrees to go undercover and gather intel on the gang's leader while trying not to lose his own identity in the process. The fight scenes are brutal and choreographed with a visceral intensity, far removed from Hollywood's polished action sequences. What makes Furioza work is that it doesn't glorify the violence. Instead, it shows the real consequences of living in that world. Mateusz Bonaciuk pours everything into the role of Dawid, a man trapped between family loyalty and survival. The film is long at over 2 hours, but the pacing holds up thanks to the constant tension between the characters. Number 9. The Smashing Machine. What happens when the most dangerous man in the octagon can't win the fight against his own demons? Mark Kerr was an MMA legend in the late 90s, a fighter whose demolishing style earned him the nickname the Smashing Machine. But behind the victories and the championship belts, Kerr was battling a painkiller addiction that threatened to destroy everything he'd built, including his relationship with Dawn, the woman trying to pull him back from the edge. Dwayne Johnson completely sheds his action star image to deliver a transformative performance that earned him a Golden Globe nomination. Emily Blunt as Dawn brings a vulnerability and strength that perfectly balance the protagonist's self-destruction. Benny Safdie, the director behind Uncut Gems, shoots with a raw, grainy 16mm style that makes you feel every punch inside and outside the ring. The film won the Silver Lion at Venice and was one of the most talked about of the year. It's a sports drama that transcends the genre to become an honest portrait of the human cost of greatness. Number 8. Hard Eyes. Valentine's Day turns into a nightmare when a serial killer known as the Hard Eyes Killer shows up in Seattle hunting down couples in love. Ally and Jay are two office co-workers pulling overtime on that very night, and by a twist of fate, the killer mistakes them for a romantic couple. Now they have to survive the most romantic night of the year running for their lives while trying to figure out who's hiding behind the mask with glowing heart-shaped eyes. The film blends slasher and romantic comedy in a way that genuinely surprises, with creative kill scenes reminiscent of the best moments from the Scream franchise and humor that relieves the tension right when you need it. Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt have a natural chemistry that makes their characters' dynamic work in both the horror and comedy moments. The villain's design is visually striking that red-eyed mask sticks in your memory. It's not a film that's going to reinvent the genre, but it delivers exactly what it promises and does it with style. Number 7. Dhurandhar. In the early 2000s, an Indian intelligence agent infiltrates the criminal underworld of Karachi, Pakistan, on a mission to dismantle a terrorist network threatening India. Ranveer Singh stars in this action epic as Hamza, an undercover operative who must earn the trust of the city's most dangerous gangsters while keeping his true identity hidden. For those who enjoyed the visual madness and overflowing energy of RRR, this film delivers a similar experience but with a darker, more grounded tone. The action sequences are spectacular and filmed with a brutality that leaves no room to breathe. At over 3 hours long, the film takes its time building the world of the Pakistani underworld and the complex relationships between its characters. Some might argue it's too long, but if you let yourself get swept up in the rhythm, those 3 hours fly by. This is Indian action cinema at its peak. Grand, intense, and absolutely addictive. Fair warning though, this is a movie best enjoyed with your brain in relaxation mode, just soaking in the spectacle. Number 6. The Hateful Eight. On one side, we have one of the most feared bounty hunters in the Old West, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and on the other, a man transporting a prisoner worth a fortune. During a brutal blizzard, these two cross paths with other travelers at a stop that wasn't in anyone's plans: Minnie's haberdashery. 8 strangers start sharing stories while suspicion grows with every passing minute, as if a bomb could go off at any moment. Quentin Tarantino directs this masterpiece of claustrophobic suspense with his unmistakable style, razor-sharp dialogue, explosive violence, and a narrative that keeps you guessing until the very last second. It's remarkable what this director pulls off, with a nearly 3-hour film set almost entirely in a single room. Robert Richardson's 70mm cinematography is spectacular, and Ennio Morricone's Oscar-winning score gives it an icy atmosphere that seeps into your bones. If you've never seen this film, you owe it to yourself. This is Tarantino in his purest form, doing what he does best. Number 5. Wrath of Man. A mysterious man lands a job at an armored truck company in Los Angeles. Quiet and always keeping to himself, he seems like just another employee trying to adjust to a dangerous gig. But when a robbery goes down during a rout, he reacts with such calculated speed and violence that it leaves all his coworkers in shock. From that point on, suspicions start to mount. Jason Statham plays this walking enigma with an ice-cold demeanor, and as his past slowly comes to light, it becomes clear he didn't take this job by accident. He's looking for someone, and he's willing to do whatever it takes for revenge. Guy Ritchie directs with a more restrained style than usual, stepping away from his criminal comedies to deliver a dark, no-nonsense thriller that gets straight to the point. The narrative structure plays with time jumps to piece together the puzzle gradually, and each piece that clicks into place ramps up the tension exponentially. I'd go as far as saying this is one of Jason Statham's best action films, and that's really saying something. Number 4. The Fall Guy. Holt Sievers is a Hollywood stuntman who spends his life taking hits, falling off buildings, and getting blown up so that big movie stars look like heroes on screen. After a serious accident that nearly ends his career, he decides to step away from the film world. But sometime later, an unexpected opportunity comes up, returning to work on a major action production directed by his ex-girlfriend. The problem is, when the film's lead actor mysteriously disappears, Colt gets dragged into an investigation full of car chases, fights, and absurd situations. Ryan Gosling proves once again that his range as an actor knows no bounds, moving between physical comedy and emotional moments with an effortless ease. Emily Blunt, as the director, brings a chemistry with Gosling that elevates every scene they share. The film is a tribute to the stunt performers who never get the recognition they deserve, and it pulls it off with a sense of humor, so infectious that it's impossible not to have a great time. Action, romance, and laughs in equal measure. Number 3. Novocaine. Nate is a quiet guy living a perfectly normal life, but he has an extremely rare condition. He can't feel pain. He can take a punch, a burn, or a wound, and his body simply doesn't register the signal. This never seemed particularly useful until the day the woman he's head over heels for gets kidnapped during a bank robbery that goes horribly wrong. With zero combat experience, no training, and absolutely no action hero skills, Nate throws himself into rescuing her, using his condition as his only advantage. While everyone tries to knock him down with punches, he just keeps getting back up like nothing happened. Jack Quaid gives the character a perfect mix of clumsiness and determination that makes every action scene as funny as it is tense. The fight sequences take creative advantage of the premise, with situations ranging from the absurd to the genuinely brutal. Compared to other recent action comedies, Novocaine has the edge of a concept so original it carries the entire film. Not everything works perfectly, but when it connects hard. Number 2. Roofman. Based on the true story of Jeffrey Manchester, a former U.S. Army veteran who went broke and decided the best solution was to rob McDonald's restaurants by breaking in through the roof. That simple and that insane. After perfecting his method across more than 40 robberies, he's caught and sentenced to 45 years in prison. But Manchester doesn't give up. He manages to escape from jail and hides out inside a toy store, living behind the walls of the building for months while building a new identity and a new life. Channing Tatum delivers what is probably the best performance of his career, a character who's simultaneously charming and troubled, someone you end up rooting for even though you know what he's doing is wrong. director Derek Shanfrance shoots with an aesthetic that evokes 1970s cinema using 35mm film that gives it a unique texture. Compared to other films on this list, Roofman is the one that will surprise you most with how absurd the real story behind it is. It's entertaining, emotional, and visually stunning. Number 1. In the Heat of the Night. A well-dressed black man is quietly waiting for his train at a Mississippi station when a police officer approaches him with contempt and hauls him to the station, convinced he's a criminal. But to those officers' dismay, they discover the man they arrested is no crook. He's Virgil Tibbs, one of Philadelphia's top homicide detectives. And right when the town's sheriff is racking his brain trying to solve a murder that just happened, Tibbs becomes the only person capable of cracking the case. The problem is that on top of handling an investigation that isn't even his, Tibbs has to face the racism of a cowardly, ignorant community that sees him as a threat simply because of the color of his skin. Sidney Poitier delivers a masterful performance that defined a generation, with a dignity and restraint that make every scene powerful. The film won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and the ending is nothing short of extraordinary. Unlike any other film on this list, In the Heat of the Night goes for something that transcends entertainment. It makes you think, and decades later, it remains painfully relevant. And with that, we wrap up our tour of these 10 films that prove there's a lot more to Netflix and Prime Video than meets the eye. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Let us know in the comments which of these movies you've already watched and which ones you still need to discover. See you in the next video, and remember, there's always a great film waiting for you.